Coming to the stage, the man who's brought this together. He used to wash dishes here. Now he's the event manager, and he is kind of funny. So bringing him to the stage, my man, DT. Come on, y'all. See me now? Go, DT. Come on, DT.
What up, Maricopa? How y'all feeling tonight? Hey, but before I start, though, I want to know, have you guys seen Get Out? Yeah. You guys seen that movie? No? No one? Yeah? Yeah? I would tell you to go watch it as in Theater 4, but you probably couldn't move right now. Look, man, we've been doing shows here a long time. The last time I was here, we did a show, and I got off stage, and this girl came up to me, and she was like, "Hey, DT, I just want you to know I sent you some nudes." And I was like, "Thank you. As soon as I get upstairs, I'm gonna check those out." And I walked away and she stopped me and she was like, "No, silly, I sent them to you through the postal." And I was like, "That's fucking weird." It really is weird though, because who calls the mail postal? You know what I mean? And it was at this moment that I knew that she wasn't firing on all cylinders. But I was curious. I had so many questions I wanted to ask her. Like, who took the picture? Where do you even get film developed anymore? Did you have to email that picture somewhere? Because why didn't you email it to me? How many people actually saw this picture before you put it in the mail? And how did you get my address? I wanted to ask her these things, but I knew better, so I just told her, I was like, "Listen here, that's very nice of you, but you got some problems, and I'm not the one to fix them. So I'm gonna tell you what, you need Jesus in your life. I'm gonna tell my grandma to pray for you." And she looks at me and she was like, "I had Jesus and his brother Juan." I'm glad she said that, because when I told my grandma to pray for her, my grandma was like, "Fuck that bitch, I ain't praying for her. Ain't gonna waste a prayer. You know you got a cousin that's sick." Man, I love my grandma. My grandma recently retired earlier this year after 40 years of being a bus driver. 40 years. She never hurt no kid, hit no kid, slept with no kid. Nothing. She took him to school, picked him up. She retired now though, you know what I mean? And now that she's retired, she's got a lot of time on her hands. And I just found out that my grandma now makes marijuana edibles. Yeah, you guys are laughing because you ain't the one that had to go down the street to Mr. Salazar's house, who you've known for 30 years, and beat him up and take his motor chair with a fucking battery. You didn't have to do that for your grandma. I did. That's why you laughing. It's 2017. It's not a game anymore. You mean she's out there getting money? And this guy ain't mad at her, you know what I mean? I just wish she would have told me, because the way I found out she was making edibles was fucked up. It was at a family barbecue. So I pull up to the house, I go inside, everybody's in the backyard. Now, at my grandma's house, my whole life, in the cabinet there's two shelves. There's the adult shelf, where there's like Oreos and Rice Krispies and shit. And then there's the kids shelf with the cookies that you wish were Oreos. You know what I mean? So I come in, everybody's sitting in the back. I'm an adult now. I can eat off the top shelf now. I'm a fucking adult. You know what I mean? So she got some cookies up there. I grab a cookie and I eat that motherfucker. I make a glass of tea and I go outside, you know what I mean? We're at a barbecue, so all my cousins there and shit, you know what I mean? I pull up a chair. I'm talking to one of my cousins. I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, I saw that shit you posted on Facebook. Your girlfriend's ugly, fucking." You know what I mean? We was just chilling, having a good time, and like an hour and a half later, and we're just talking, and all of a sudden it's like, I look up at my cousin, I'm like, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel funny." My mom looks at me, she's like, "Why are you talking like that?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't feel right though." You know what I mean? It was one of the fucked up feelings, like I wanted to move my legs, and the shit didn't work, you know what I mean? I tried to stand up, I fell down. I got up, you know what I mean? I'm dizzy, I'm standing there. My mom's all mad. She's like, he's fucking dehydrated. All he drinks is tea. He never drinks any water. He's fucking dehydrated. So I'm sitting there, you know what I mean? I'm fucked up. I can't move. And my grandma, she comes over all cool. She sits next to me. She's like, you ate one of my cookies, didn't you? I was like, yes. And she just goes, buckle up. That was the worst 4 goddamn hours of my life. That's fucked up, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on now, but when I was in high school, you made like anything with weed, you would just take the shitty stuff that you get from Mexico, and you would just crumble it in your fucking hands like that, you know what I mean? So you bite sticks and all kinds of shit. This, I don't know what she did, it was a science. You know what I mean? I don't know if she baked it with love or what. But I didn't know what I was getting into. It was a terrible 4 hours. So as soon as that shit wore off, I got up and I was leaving. I'm not drinking, I'm not eating, I'm not touching shit. I'm leaving, you know what I mean? And my grandma, she's an old school lady, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean old school, like, if someone in the family's fucked up, she's gonna take care of them, you know what I mean? If they're on drugs, she's gonna make sure they get better. So I go to find my grandma, I knock on the door, I open it, and she's in there, and she's petting my little cousin's head. My little cousin's a coke addict. You know what I mean? She's in there. But according to my grandma, she's sick. She's not high on coke, she's sick. You know what I mean? So I go in there and I'm like, Grandma, I was like, I'm leaving. I was like, why is she here? She's like, she's sick. I was like, Grandma, she's not sick, she's high on cocaine. She's like, she's not fucking high on cocaine, she's sick. I was like, Grandma, there's a bag of cocaine right here on this table. She said, that's not cocaine. I walked over to the bag. Yeah, you're right. It's not cocaine. It's shitty cocaine. And she's standing there, my cousin's sweating because she's been in the shed all goddamn day going through withdrawals. And my grandma was like, you must have been to the shed. If you think I'm lying, follow my Instagram. I got pictures of the shed. My cousin's in there, this is what I'm gonna do when I grow up. Bitch, you're 31. What you do when you grow up? My grandma was like, don't you remember that one time she signed up for fucking CAC? That bitch didn't show up. You know what I mean? My grandma's mad. She was like, hey, I'm gonna go get her some water. Don't make her cry. I was like, Grandma, I'm not gonna make her cry. She's like, don't make her cry. You heard what happened to Mr. Salazar. I was like, Grandma, I'm the one that fucked Mr. Salazar up. What you gonna do? Call me to fuck myself up? She's like, hey, you got a cousin that's got an arm like this I not told you about. She's like, keep playing, I'm gonna fucking send him to you. All right, Grandma, I ain't playing. You know what I mean? So I'm standing there, looking at my little cousin. I'm like, you high, you worthless. Kicking her and shit, you know what I mean? She was like, you remember when I wanted to be an astronaut? I was like, bitch, you can't even spell astronaut. She was like, fuck you, David. She was like, I was gonna be the first person to go to the sun. I was like, bitch, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you, you can't go to the sun. She's like, see, that's what makes me smarter than everybody else. Cause I'm gonna go at night. I couldn't even fuck with it anymore. I gotta walk out. My grandma's standing on the outside with a cup of water. She got a sad look on her face. I'm like, Grandma, what's wrong? And she looks at me and she's like, that bitch might be high. Thank you guys, I'm DT.
Give it up for DT. What the fuck was he doing? You took the mic over here?